When I first got this deck, people were telling me that this deck was impossible to read. No one can read this deck. It is the enigma, you know. I went online and the creator even said this deck was not specifically intended for you to do readings. But he was aware that some of us that were more, crafty had figured out how to do it. And I looked at a couple people discussing it. And of course, I'm an Aquarius. When you tell me I can't do something, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Been doing it my whole life. I love when people tell me I can't do something. I'm like, I can't? Okay, watch me do it. Hold my beer, okay? So that's what I did with this deck. I bought it. I did a video about it. Showed you every single card. Talked about the cards. And then I started to do readings with it. And I figured out exactly how to do a incredible tarot reading with this deck. As a matter of fact, this deck has become like I'm getting ready to say my favorite deck. I think I have one deck I like more than this one, and it's because of nostalgia. Seriously, this is like number 2 on my list. It's a very easy reader. The card size is perfect. And today I'm going to show you guys what I figured out, how you too can do your very own tarot reading. If you know how to read tarot, you'll be able to use this deck. Okay? My name is QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to someone else who may want to see it too. If you would like to get a reading done, please email me or hit me up on social media. All of my information will be underneath this video. I'll also put the link to where you can buy this. I believe I got this one on Amazon. Alright guys, let's get started. So, first of all, when you first get this deck, let me take it out the box. When you first purchase this deck, the first thing you will notice is that this is the guidebook. Okay? Now, the guidebook doesn't really do much guiding. It tells you what this is, but it doesn't tell you what the suits mean. So, for example, let's look at the first page. They tell you what each card is, but they don't tell you what it means. So, if you're somebody who knows how to read the Rider-Waite-Smith, you can read this just like the Rider-Waite-Smith. Remember I told you how much I love the card stock and the size. Oh, these are my babies. So check this out, right? There are 22 cards that have this double square right there. All of the 22 cards are numbered just like the major arcana. So you can use them exactly the same way. So this one would be the Magician. So when you get this card, it even has the infinity symbol right there. So when you get this card, you read it as the Magician. And then so forth and so on. You're going to see all the other ones, all the usual suspects. Let me get you another one. When you see this card, you read it as what? Number 5. What's number 5? The Hierophant. So this is the Hierophant card. So as you can see, all I did was take a look at them. Here's another one. And I used a number, and that's how I know what number it is. This is our Emperor. And it even has a little empire in the background. See? So that's how I've been using them. And that part is really easy. I'll give you one more. Here is our Empress. The Empress is the burrito. Or the burrow, I should say. I always call it the burrito. Now, one more thing you should know before you go on from the majors is this one here. This is the one I use for the Strength card. And this one here, I use for Justice. And I'm only pointing this out because some people told me they had a problem figuring out which one to use as what. Let me see. So you may be wondering to yourself, why? Let me see. And I will tell you why. All right, here it is right here. So according to this, the number 11 card can sometimes be justice and it can sometimes be the strength card, depending on what you prefer. I decided on these just based on the card because 11 for me, justice, has to do with the goddess Mayat. And the goddess Mayat is from ancient Kemet. So for me, this was my justice card. And that only left this one, obviously, as my strength card. Another reason why that made sense to me personally, as thinking about it, because you got to think about it as food. Bagels are tough. They're thick, they're doughy, and they're tough. Not tough like a steak, but they're kind of chewy sometimes. Sometimes if you toast it too hard, it can be hard too. But bagels are tough, you know, like the strength card. And like I said, Egypt, toughness, strength, justice. So that's the way I did that. Okay, so that left me, all right, that left me in a good position because now I know all of my major arcana. Now let me tell you how to figure out the suits. This one is drinks. Drinks is clearly cups. I think we can all agree on that. That was a no-brainer for me. But the other ones, let me show you the other ones. These are a little bit more difficult to figure out, and I figured out these the same way. Do you remember when we were in school? I don't remember what grade it was, but in one of those grades, I remember in elementary school, our science teacher talking to us about, is that right? Yeah, that's right. I remember our science teacher talking to us about how the stomach, and again, this is a food deck. It talked about how the stomach digests. And all I remember, because I don't remember all the scientific jargon, but all I remember is they said that sweets were in the bloodstream fastest. And they were talking about how you can eat a piece of candy or drink some sugary juice or something like that, and you feel a boost. You feel immediately a jolt. Some people get jittery, you know. I know when I have sugar, I'm immediately hyped. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to do these based on speed. So in tarot, the wands are the fastest element. Now, some people will argue this, but I've always believed wands, swords, cups, pentacles. That's the way the speed goes for me. So based on, you know, how things move in the elements. So my fastest element would have to be sugar because the stomach and the body seems to take the sugar in fastest, but it also crashes fastest. Remember that? They told us that in, I guess it was like 6th grade or something. So that is why this one is wands. So this one here, our black and white diamond, are my wands. So this is the king of wands. Then this one, these are the sides. So the sides are going to be slower than wands, swords, okay, but faster than what's going to be our pentacles. So here, swords, like I said, are slower than the wands, but they're still pretty fast. Because if you think about it, sugar is going to go right to your head or right to your whatever. Some people say right to my thighs. I don't know. It goes right to your bloodstream. Put it like that. The sides are going to be small. So your body's going to digest that faster than they would when we get to our mains. So those are my swords. So this would be the Queen of Swords, which is really interesting to me because I love salad. I eat salad almost every day. And the Queen of Swords is one of my cards. The Aquarius, the Libra, and the Gemini are the swords. So the Queen of Swords could be an Aquarius woman, as I am. So I thought that was fun. And then that only left one more suit to figure out, and that suit is the mains. So I decided that the mains was going to be my pentacles because these are heavier meals that take longer to digest. When you look at the mains are all meals or like big pieces of meat. That's one of the things I noticed. Check this one out. Look at this. So this would be the New Englander. That's going to be the 10 of Pentacles. And then here we have our King of Pentacles, the mains. So this suit is called Sweets, Sides, and Mains, Wands, Swords, and Pentacles, respectively. So if you want to do a tarot reading, this is all the information you need. You know the 22 major arcana. You know the 3 different suits now. And that's it. The 4 different suits, because we already said that the drinks is the cups. So now you know what each of the suits are. You know what each of the major arcana are. And now, like I told you before, this deck is so easy to shuffle. I'm going to be able to shuffle it right now off camera on my leg. I mean, they're a dream. I love these. I use them all the time. All right, so now, before we go, I'm going to show you how I will then, at random, I'm going to just take 3 at random and interpret them. 1, 2, and 3. So we have, there we are. All right, so we got 3, and 2 of them are reversed. So let me tell you, the folded one is clearly the 2. The 2 is the High Priestess. So the first card is the High Priestess reversed. Now, we all interpret cards differently, but to my interpretation, especially based on the other cards that are here, because I know what the other cards mean already. So let me see. Queen of Cups. All right, so I would say that if I'm looking at this for a client, I would tell my client that their intuition, their spirituality, their spiritual side, that part of them needs work, because your High Priestess is reversed, and this is telling me you're somebody who has an intuitive sense, but you're not using it, you're not trusting it, you're not tapping into it. This person probably should take a look at spirituality and whatever that means to them, crystals or goddess energy, that kind of thing. I would tell them to just learn. I wouldn't say run out there and, you know, change up or do something specific. I would say learn more about spirituality, because clearly you have more intuitive energy than you're using. And you can really utilize this, you know, this is really important for a lot of people, because, for instance, if you're in pain, I'll give you an example. You have emotional pain, but you have a High Priestess energy. You can use spirituality to heal thyself in whatever way you want to. There's Reiki, you know, there's mirror work. There's so many different kind of ways that spirituality can help you change, or not even just change, heal. So I would think this person needs to use their spirituality to heal. They also have here, let's see, let me show it to you in the upright too. We got it in the reverse, but I'm gonna show it in the upright, just so you can see what the card is looking like, okay? All right, so we got the answer for this one. Then we're going to take a look at this one. Again, we got it in the reverse. This is the bagged one. So if you go to your handy dandy book, this one says 15, 16, and 17. So when you go to your book, you will see that card number, what did we say that was, 17? So this one is going to be our star, because 16 is the tower and 17 is the star, and our star was reversed. Interesting, because once again, the star indicates, when it's reversed like this, it indicates healing. If you look at the book, or if you look at, you know, different books, you'll get different interpretations, like a falling star, or, you know, somebody who's fallen or something like that. But because the first card was the High Priestess reversed, let's put it back. That's how we know that this is telling us this person needs deep healing. We talked about the spiritual aspects. That's how to get the healing. But this one is telling us that they need deep healing. So something may have happened to them, relationship-wise, family-wise. But whatever the case is, their star has fallen. They've lost hope. So this is a very emotionally healing type of energy. So again, the first card told us already how to handle that. Now, the interesting part about this, my spread that I did was situation, advice, outcome. So our advice is to actually get the healing. We already know the situation. We need the healing. get the healing is in the second one. And they're telling us different ways in this too about healing, because the star indicates using astrology, using different like medicinal purposes, medicinal medicines, plant-based things. All those kind of things go along with the star. So again, they mentioned in the first one using spirituality, and now in the second one they're giving us some more ideas about how and what to use. And then our outcome card, all the way over there, is the Queen of Drinks, the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups card is saying that this person, if they do the things that we just talked about, will more than likely be able to get to their objective, because the Queen of Cups is intuitive. She is emotionally, spiritually, mentally balanced too, in her upright form. Notice we got the other ones in the reverse, but we got the Queen in the upright. So I'm expecting this person, I'm expecting it to be a woman, and I'm expecting her to go through some trials and tribulations and be able to use spirituality to become the intuitive person, emotionally balanced person that she is meant to be. Now I'm wondering to myself, is this talking about me? Because this is the journey I went through in life. So I think this is talking about me. I just realized that. But yeah, this is exactly what I would say if I was reading this for myself or another person. So you have, like I said, two High Priestess reversed, 15, 16, 17, the Star reversed, and the Queen of Cups in the upright. So, like I said, it's very simple if you go with this method to be able to do a reading. So, that's how I figured out my Food Fortunes deck. And I know that some other people have come up with some other things that they decided to do instead, which is fine. That's the one thing that's great about spirituality, is you can pretty much figure out what works for you. And also, like I told you, the creator was like, you know, this deck is just, you know, it's supposed to just be a novelty, you know, for you to play around with when you're trying to figure out what you want to eat for dinner. But of course, those of us who are crafty are like, there's enough structure here that I can do a decent, and I do. Yesterday, I think I did 5 readings with this deck. And that's another thing I'm going to tell you about this deck before I go, is that it is also very unique. It's very unique in the sense that it has like certain slang. Let me show you the slang I'm talking about. It says things in a funny way, like the thickest. When I saw that, I thought about women. Sometimes a person will call a woman thick, you know, and that's what it made me think of immediately. There's another one in here. It's called the Hot Mess. And the other day, I got that card for somebody. Somebody was asking me about somebody that they wanted to date. And when I got the card, here it is right here. Let me show it to you guys. Another thing about the language of the deck. I got this card, and it said, he said, well, I want to date this guy. What do you think? And the first card I pulled said the Hot Mess. So before I even read it, because this is the 9 of Wands, before I even read it, I bust out laughing, and I said, is he a hot mess? And the guy started cracking up, and he was like, yeah, that's why I'm calling you and asking about him. So it was so funny to me, because I didn't realize, he didn't say anything about the guy yet. We were just like, well, I like this guy, and is he worth my time, was all he said. And this is the card I pulled. So I was like, we got to pull more cards, because this doesn't look good. So I really like the way that the cards speak. There's this language, and to me the language is funny, and the language is in certain times, depending upon what card you pull, it's kind of sassy. I remember back in the day, people would say that you were, you know, shady. That was what they would call you. And what shady really meant was that you were sassy and you said things in a funny, sassy kind of way. So if I also could get this card for somebody who like a mess, a person is like, yeah, this person is a mess, you know. But I just thought it was so funny when I got it in that situation. And another time, this is the last one I'll show you. I was asking about an ex-friend of mine and why this person keeps popping up in my life and bugging me, even though I told the person to go away. And they got this card, and I bust out laughing because pressed. It was this old slang when I was younger. Pressed meant somebody was pressed. They were, how do you translate pressed? They wouldn't get over something. They wouldn't leave something alone. You know, something has pressed them. You know, and they just like a dog with a bone. And I just started to laugh when I got this card for this person because the cards are telling me, yeah, this person's still pressed. This person bugging you because they're pressed. You know, so that was another thing I noticed is that certain cards have that kind of language in them, and it makes me laugh. You also have to take a very good look at the picture too. Because these pictures, even though it's food, there is a lot going on in these pictures. So you have to look in the back part of this, because take a look at this. I was talking to somebody and they were asking me about this person, and they were asking me, would the person go away, like leave them? Because the person is planning, we found out from reading, the person is planning to leave them. And one of the first cards that indicated it was this one. And you see how the car is leaving? And as soon as I saw that and started piggybacking off of the other cards, I was like, okay, this is a sword. This is the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords, there is usually a person walking away. And I thought it was very clever the way it's depicted in this person driving away. And the funny thing about it was my client was saying the person that's, you know, she thinks that is going to leave her, because since then this person has admitted it, has a beat up old car. So I thought that was interesting. When I showed her the picture, she was like, you know what, that looked like the beat up old Pinto that he drives. You know, he has a truck and he has a beat up old car, and she said this looked a lot like the beat up old car, but it's a different color, it's blue. So I thought that was really funny. So also, as you're doing your reading, really look at the picture, because some of the times you will find things like that to springboard off of. Yeah, so so that is how you do a proper reading with the Food Fortunes Tarot. Again, for those of you who might have forgotten, the double squares are the major arcana. To the side, the drinks are going to be your cups. The diamond here, this is going to be your wands, this is going to be your sides, and this is going to be your pentacles. So swords, pentacles, cups, wands, swords, pentacles, major arcana. Bam. So if you're familiar with the Rider-Waite-Smith, you will be able to give a really funny, awesome reading with this deck. So let me know if you try it. Let me know if you have a different way of doing yours and have a different rationalization for it, other than like I use digestion. Maybe you use something else. Please let me know in the comment section. And you guys come back soon, because I got a lot more to say. See you later.